Welcome back to the podcast playground. Our newest podcast is The Best Podcast.
Join Jay Carter and me, Vida Best, on The Best Podcast, where the dynamic duo brings you their insider secrets to everything wonderful.
Known for their discerning taste, the Best family has critiqued the finest in entertainment, technology, and lifestyle.
Now Jay and me dive deep into the top 5 everything, from the latest cell phones to affordable wines that won't break the bank.
Every episode promises engaging discussions filled with humor and insight, ensuring you discover what truly deserves a spot at the top.
Whether you're looking for the best gadgets or simply want to elevate your everyday choices, this podcast is your go-to guide.
So tell a friend, you've found the best podcast,
where every recommendation is a gem waiting to be uncovered. Tune in weekly for your dose of excellence.
All right, let's get ready to plan a U.S. trip.
Ooh, fun.
We've got 2 sources to deep dive into today.
Sounds good.
First up, we have Lonely Planet's 19 best places to visit in the USA in 2024.
Okay.
And we also have Trip Extreme's YouTube video, Top 10 Places to Visit in USA 2024.
So one's a big travel guide and one's more like a quick video overview.
Right.
Cool.
Yeah.
It's interesting how these sources, they both talk about the best places to visit.
Yeah.
But they seem to each be speaking to a different kind of traveler.
Oh, interesting. Okay, so who would be the ideal audience for each?
Yeah.
Well, maybe we can figure that out.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's start with some places that are on both lists.
Okay.
New York City.
Of course.
Yeah. But the sources talk about it pretty differently.
Yeah, so Lonely Planet is all about the different neighborhoods.
Uh-huh.
And they recommend that you just pick an area and really explore it.
Oh, that's a good tip. Yeah, instead of trying to see the whole city.
Right.
Yeah, and that makes me think that they're talking to someone who wants a more, local experience.
Totally.
Yeah.
Trip Extreme, though, they highlight all the big sites.
Right, like the Statue of Liberty and the Empire State Building, Times Square.
They even mention some hidden gems, too.
Oh, yeah? Like what?
The High Line.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, and they say New York has a ton of museums, which, it does.
It really does.
It seems like Trip Extreme is speaking to, the classic tourist.
Yeah, definitely.
Who wants to see all the most famous stuff.
Exactly.
So it's fascinating how these sources are recommending the same destination, but with totally different approaches.
Yeah, it really is.
Let's see, what's another place that both sources mention?
Okay.
Washington, D.C.
Oh, a classic.
Right. You got to go.
Yeah, definitely.
But again, Lonely Planet and Trip Extreme have different takes.
What do they say?
Lonely Planet focuses on the National Mall.
Of course.
And all the Smithsonian museums.
So they're thinking about someone who's really into history and museums.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Someone who's happy to spend their whole trip on the mall.
Right.
Trip Extreme mentions some stuff that's a little further out, though.
Oh, like what?
Like Mount Vernon.
Cool.
And Ford's Theater.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and they mentioned the cherry blossoms, too.
Oh, right. Those are beautiful in the spring.
So they're maybe picturing someone who wants to see the main sites, but also explore a bit more.
Yeah, I can see that.
What's our last shared destination?
Let's see.
Las Vegas.
Ah, Vegas.
I know, right?
It's interesting, though, how Lonely Planet makes it sound so, almost wholesome.
Really?
Yeah, they mention the casinos, but also, shows and shopping and all the restaurants.
Right.
They kind of present it as a desert oasis, which it is, I guess.
It is, yeah, if you think about it.
Yeah.
Trip Extreme, though.
What'd they say?
Well, they're definitely leading into the whole what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas angle.
Uh-huh.
So, casinos, entertainment, that whole high roller vibe.
Yeah.
It's funny how they're showing 2 totally different sides of Vegas.
I know, right? It's 2 completely different trips.
So maybe one source is being more, realistic than the other?
Maybe.
Or maybe they're both just highlighting different aspects of the same city.
Yeah, that's true.
It makes you think, though, about how important it is to keep the source in mind.
Right, who are they writing this for?
Yeah, what are they choosing to focus on?
Exactly.
And does that match up with what you're looking for in a trip?
Yeah, that's a great point.
Okay, so we've seen where these sources overlap.
Right.
Now let's dive into some of the places that only one of them recommends.
Okay, sounds good.
Lonely Planet has a few that caught my eye.
Oh, like what?
Well, first of all, they recommend New England.
Okay, that's a whole region, though.
I know, right?
Sure.
But they paint such a vivid picture.
What do they say?
They talk about fall foliage and charming towns, and they mention the coast.
Oh, nice.
And, of course, fresh lobster.
It does sound lovely.
Yeah, they even get specific and mention Vermont and Maine.
Cool.
So it seems like they're targeting someone who really loves that, like, quintessential New England experience.
Yeah, I can see that.
Someone who likes nature and history and, well, good food.
Definitely.
And then Lonely Planet takes us to the opposite side of the country,
Oh, where to?
southwestern Utah.
Interesting.
Yeah, they highlight all the national parks there.
Which ones?
Let me see.
Okay.
Zion, Bryce Canyon, Capitol Reef, Canyonlands, and Arches.
Wow, that's a lot.
I know, right?
So they're definitely talking to the like outdoorsy type
For sure.
nature lover.
Yeah, and they even give a little warning about the remoteness of the area.
Oh, right. Those parks can be pretty far out there.
Yeah, and see, cell service can be spotty.
So you really gotta be prepared.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, what's Lonely Planet's last hidden gem?
Mm.
Key West, Florida.
Oh, cool.
They really emphasize the quirky charm of Key West.
What do they mean by that?
Like, they talk about sunset celebrations and historic homes, and of course, Hemingway's legacy.
Right. He lived there for a while.
Yeah, and they mention Duval Street, which is supposed to be really lively.
Oh, fun.
They also point out that Key West is very walkable.
Oh, that's good to know.
It seems like they're targeting someone who wants to experience a place that's a little offbeat
Yeah, definitely.
and laid back.
Someone who's looking for something different.
Right.
Those are Lonely Planet's unique picks.
Yep.
What about Trip Extreme?
What unique places do they have?
Well, first up is Hawaii.
Oh, classics.
Right. They really play up the whole island paradise vibe.
Beaches, volcanoes, that kind of thing.
Exactly.
They must be going after the traveler who wants to just relax and escape.
Totally. Yeah.
Did they mention any specific islands?
Yeah, they talk about Kauai and Maui,
Oh, nice.
and they emphasize how the weather's always perfect.
Oh, I could use some of that right now.
Me too.
Okay, what else?
Well, then they take us to Asheville, North Carolina.
Interesting.
Yeah, what I thought was cool was how they highlighted both the mountain views.
Along the Blue Ridge Parkway.
Yep, and also the downtown scene with all the arts and restaurants.
Oh, wow. So it's like 2 vacations in one.
Exactly.
That's pretty cool.
They also mentioned the Biltmore Estate, which is America's largest private home.
Oh, wow. I've heard of that.
Yeah, it's pretty impressive.
So it seems like they're targeting someone who wants a little bit of everything.
Yeah, for sure.
Nature, culture, history, you name it.
It sounds like a really diverse destination.
And Trip Extreme's final unique recommendation is?
New Orleans.
Of course.
It's hard to beat the energy of New Orleans, right?
Yeah, it's such a unique city.
They mention all the classic stuff like Mardi Gras and jazz music and the charm of the French Quarter.
And the food.
Oh, yeah, the food is incredible.
They also suggest venturing outside the French Quarter.
Oh, yeah. For what?
Like they say to go on a swamp tour
Cool.
and check out some antique shops.
It sounds like they're picturing someone who wants to experience the full spectrum of New Orleans.
Yeah, not just the touristy stuff.
Exactly.
So we've got 2 sources, both recommending amazing places to visit.
Yeah.
But what's really fascinating is how they each seem to be speaking to a different type of traveler.
Right. They each have their own, like, target audience in mind.
It's not just about the destinations themselves.
Right.
It's also about understanding how these sources are framing those destinations.
Yeah, and how that can help us plan our own trips.
Okay.
Thinking about those traveler types, it makes me remember Lonely Planet's description of southwestern Utah.
Yeah.
Like, they really emphasize that sense of adventure, you know?
Right.
Talking about the artistic flair of the parks, but then also that warning about being remote, no cell service.
Oh, yeah.
So they're speaking to a specific kind of traveler.
Yeah, someone who really wants to get away from it all.
Exactly.
Disconnect.
Distract.
More interested in seeing the Milky Way than their Instagram feed.
Right. Haha. Exactly.
And then Trip Extreme with
Yeah.
Asheville, North Carolina. That's a whole other vibe.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they talk about the mountains, but also the cool downtown.
That's interesting.
So maybe they're going for the traveler who wants a little bit of everything.
Yeah, I can see that.
Like hike during the day, then hit up a fancy restaurant at night.
I mean, that sounds like a pretty good vacation to me.
It does, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Reminds me of how Lonely Planet talked about Key West.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that mix of history and that lively Duval Street. But they also made sure to point out that it's walkable.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, like you can just explore at your own pace.
So they're thinking about the traveler who maybe doesn't need a strict itinerary.
Right, someone who likes to wander and discover things on their own.
Yeah, exactly.
It's fascinating how these sources can recommend the same place, but it's clear they have different people in mind.
It's all about the details, Like with New York City, both sources talked about it being iconic, but in such different ways.
What do you mean?
Well, Lonely Planet suggested really immersing yourself in a specific neighborhood,
Oh, right.
like becoming a temporary local.
Yeah.
But Trip Extreme was all about the big sights, the must-see stuff.
The Empire State Building, Times Square, that kind of thing.
Exactly.
It's like they're talking to two different travelers, even though it's the same city.
Right. It really makes you think about who you are as a traveler.
And what kind of experience you're looking for.
Exactly.
Okay, let's move on to D.C.
Okay.
Both sources said it's a must visit, of course. But then Lonely Planet really focused on that National Mall experience.
Yeah, the monuments, the museums, all that.
So maybe they're picturing a history buff.
Yeah, or maybe a family with kids.
Oh, right, because the museums are really interactive.
Yeah, and the monuments are pretty impressive, even for kids.
But Trip Extreme went a little beyond the mall.
Right, they mentioned Mount Vernon and Ford's Theater.
So they're maybe going for someone who wants a more in-depth historical experience.
Yeah, or someone who just likes to explore a bit more.
Maybe someone who gets bored easily just sticking to the main tourist attractions.
Uh-huh, right.
Okay, and finally, Las Vegas.
Ah, Vegas.
I know, I was surprised by how Lonely Planet talked about it.
Oh, yeah. How so?
They mentioned the casinos, obviously, but then they also talked about the shopping and the dining.
Interesting.
They even kind of made it sound family-friendly.
Really?
Yeah, it was weird.
So they're trying to appeal to a wider audience, maybe?
Yeah, I think so.
Maybe someone who likes the idea of Vegas but isn't necessarily into gambling?
Yeah, maybe.
Trip Extreme, though, they didn't shy away from the whole Sin City thing.
Nope. It was all about the casinos and the entertainment.
So they're definitely going for a different crowd.
Yeah, someone who's looking for a party.
Haha, exactly.
It's amazing how even one city can be presented in such different ways.
I know, right? It's
Yeah.
like they're showing us different facets of Vegas.
And it all depends on who the source is talking to.
Exactly. So it's important to keep that in mind when you're planning a trip.
You have to be aware of the lens you're looking through.
Yeah, and ask yourself if that lens aligns with what you're looking for.
Otherwise, you might end up in a place that's not really your style.
Right, like you might think you're going to a relaxing beach vacation and end up in the middle of a wild party.
So as we move forward, let's all try to be more conscious travelers.
Yeah, think about what kind of experience you want.
And choose your sources accordingly.
And don't be afraid to go off the beaten path.
Or to stick to the classics if that's what you love.
The most important thing is to find what works for you.
And to have fun.
Exactly.
So we've looked at a lot of different places.
We have.
And it's cool how these sources kind of give us a sense of, different travel styles.
It's true. You've got the Lonely Planet person who wants to really get to know a place. And then you've got the Trip Extreme person who's all about the highlights.
Right. And neither one is better or worse.
No, just different.
It's just good to know what you're looking for so you can choose the right source.
And the right destination.
Exactly.
Like if you know you hate being without cell service,
Yeah.
maybe southwestern Utah isn't for you.
Even though it is beautiful.
Yeah, the pictures are amazing.
But it's not just about the pictures, right?
No, it's about the whole experience.
Yeah. And being honest with yourself about what you want out of a trip.
Like, do you want to be in the middle of the action in New York City?
Or do you want to explore those quiet little neighborhoods that Lonely Planet talked about?
It really is like a personality test for travel.
Uh-huh. It kind of is.
But we got some great recommendations from these sources.
We did.
I'm definitely putting Asheville on my list.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that mountain city combo sounds awesome.
I'm thinking about Key West.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that walkability and the whole quirky vibe sounds perfect.
Very chill. I think the biggest takeaway for me is, you have to be a conscious traveler.
What do you mean?
You can't just blindly follow someone else's recommendations.
Right.
You have to understand where they're coming from.
Who are they writing for?
Exactly. And does that align with your own travel style?
That's a good point.
Otherwise, you might end up disappointed.
Or at least not having the trip you expected.
Right. So let's all do our research.
And think about what we really want.
And then go out there and explore.
So we've covered some amazing places today.
We have, from big cities to quiet islands.
We've seen how different sources can frame the same destination in different ways.
And how important it is to be aware of those differences.
So to wrap things up, I just want to encourage everyone to be adventurous,
Yes.
but also to be thoughtful.
And have fun.
Exactly. Happy travels, everyone.